In this meditation, we're going to create our own diamond light heart activation, where we're pulling in all the different aspects of our human selves, setting them up in a sacred circle, and then creating from that, in full consciousness, our own diamond. So if you'd like to get comfortable, and closing your eyes and taking a few breaths. And when you're ready, inviting that inner essence of you, your higher self energy, to come before you. And when you can feel or sense or see that energy, just let your higher self know of your intention to do this diamond light heart grid activation today. So the first thing we're going to do is set ourselves up in our own octahedrons, and the octahedron is almost like the bridge to universal intelligence or higher dimensional intelligence. So when you're ready, invite a four-sided pyramid hovering from above to lower down over your head, your shoulders, and stopping at the waist area. And allowing an upside down pyramid hovering from below, floating up past your feet, your knees, your hips, and meeting that top pyramid. And if we looked at that from front on, it would look like a diamond shape. Not the diamond of a ring, which we're going to be doing afterwards, but that two pyramids joined together. So ask your higher self to fill this octahedron that you're sitting or standing or perhaps even laying within up with the highest frequencies for you. And that might come in as a colour, a sound, a tone, a hertz frequency, your own personal ray, or a mixture of all of the above. And just making sure that you expand your heart open as far as you possibly can to receive this energy and all that you're going to be creating for yourself today. And Carl Jung said that each human on the planet had 12 archetypes, and 4 of those were collective. So we're going to bring in all those aspects. You know, the 4 collective ones he said we had were the saboteur, the victim, the prostitute, and the child. So if you allow your victim aspect, the part of you that has been or has played the victim, to come before you, and set that victim up in its own octahedron, and if you'd like to, fill that victim's octahedron up with the exact right frequency or colour, sound, tone for them. And just let it step aside, and let's bring in the aspect of us, our saboteur aspect. And again, placing it in its own octahedron and filling it up with the highest frequency for it. And now bringing in the prostitute archetype, the one that will do things in order to receive. Again, wrapping this archetype up in its own octahedron and filling it up with the exact right frequency for it, sending it over to join this circle that's forming. And that child archetype, it might be wounded, it might be playful, it doesn't really matter, but the child archetype, bringing that over, setting it up at its own octahedron, filling it up with the exact right frequency for it and sending it over to its place in the circle. You should now have 4 of them all there. So we have 8 other archetypes, and I don't think it matters that we have to know what their labels are, but we can invite these 8 other aspects of us, these archetypes, our main archetypes in, setting each one up in its own octahedron, allowing each one up to fill up with the highest frequency for it. And as they're done, sending them over to continue building this sacred circle. And do you have any shadow aspects that might like to come and take place in this circle? So letting them come in one by one. If there was an angry aspect, a depressed aspect, a sad aspect, a distracted aspect, an addicted aspect, or numerous addicted aspects, one by one, letting them come in and placing each one of them into octahedrons, filling each one up with the highest frequency for them and sending them over to take their place in your sacred circle. Are there any unconscious aspects that you don't know about? Inviting them all in, setting them all up in octahedrons, filling their octahedrons up with the highest possible frequencies and sending them over to take their place in the circle. Do you have any great aspects that you would like to have a place in this circle? Do you have a friendly aspect, a fun aspect, a generous aspect, a kind aspect, nurturing, overgiving? Bring all of these great aspects in of you, set them all up in their own octahedrons, fill their octahedrons up with the highest possible frequency for them, and allow them to all go over and take their place in this sacred circle that is building. And now we're going to bring in all of the aspects, every age that we've ever been. There might be a fetus aspect, a baby, a newborn, a toddler, every age that you've ever been. If any of these parts of self, like let's say your 3-year-old or 7-year-old didn't want to go into that circle, just bring them into your own octahedron with you to look after, to keep them with you and to look after them. But allowing every age that you've ever been to come forth placing an octahedron around each aspect of you, filling each octahedron up with the perfect and highest frequency for each aspect, and allowing them to one by one go and take their place in your sacred circle. What about some of the labels that you carry? Are you a woman or a man, a mother, a child, a sister, a brother? Your job description? All of these parts have separate roles. So one by one, allow all of these aspects to come before you, having each one set up in its own octahedron, again, filling up with the highest possible frequencies for those parts. And as they're ready, allowing them to take their places in the circles, in your sacred circle. What about any older versions of you? Considering there's no time or space, these parts of you already exist. So invite these older versions of you, those ones that feel like they want to be part of this circle, one by one, let them come in. As you can see them or feel them or sense them, set up octahedrons around each aspect, filling each octahedron up with the highest possible frequency for that age, and letting them go and take their place in your sacred circle. So your circle's probably really quite large now, and ideally you will have stepped in and become part of this circle as well. Let's just check, are there any more aspects of you that want to be there? What about any of your bodies, your etheric bodies, your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body, your etheric body, your light body? Like, do any of those aspects belong in your sacred circle? If they do, allow them to come forth, wrapping each one in its own octahedron, filling it up with the highest frequency for it, and allowing it to take its place in your circle. Allowing them all to be there and allowing any others to float in that might need to. As you contemplate this, when you look at a diamond ring, it's got all these facets, and a diamond can have up to 144 facets on one diamond in one ring. Maybe more, I'm not sure, but your circle's quite large. So what we want to do now is we want to invite the exact right aspects of yourself to start forming some inner circles from that big outer one. We don't want anything in the center, but you might have a ring of, say, 6 or 12. One ring in the center and 2 or 3 rows. So now you've got your big outer circle. Some have stepped in and they've made numerous circles on the inside as well. And as they're all forming and creating these numerous circles now, 2 or 3 or 4 within your big outer one, what we'd like to do now is to invite every octahedron from the tip, from the tip at the top of your octahedron, to send out a beam of light, a beam of energy to all the other octahedrons close or surrounding it. Almost creating a grid. If we looked from the top, you can see that all aspects are somehow connecting with each other, to each other, sending out this shared data. All of them connecting. And as you're watching this, you can take note of, were there any aspects that are in resistance to other aspects? Not working together very well? Were there splits? And inviting all of them to go ahead and send their beams of light from the top of their octahedrons to each other. If there were any that are refusing to connect, ask your higher self for assistance in allowing the flow of all of these beams of light to connect with each other. And again, looking at from the top, it's like a magnificent light grid of all these connections, all these aspects of you, getting ready and organising to actually work as one, to begin working together. When you're feeling happy with the flow and that any incongruencies have worked themselves out, you can see that these light beams from the top of your octahedrons are all connecting somehow. You're now ready to invite all of the bottom points of your octahedrons, all the very tips from the bottoms, to all merge and come together in a point as one. So if you looked at what you've done from the side, it would be like looking at a diamond from a ring, a faceted diamond. And when all these bottom points have come together, and that's now one bottom point, ask your higher self to fully activate this diamond light heart grid for you. all these aspects of the human consciously joined and merged as one in this magnificent diamond. Asking your higher self, if you want to, what does this mean? Or what will this do for me? Is there something that I should be doing with this on a daily or weekly or monthly basis? And if you brought any parts into your own octahedron with you, any of these child aspects, just letting them know that at any point in time that they can actually step into this and become an active part in this sacred circle that becomes your own diamond light grid. And when you're ready, step back into your own consciousness, now seeing this multifaceted diamond before you. And allowing that diamond, your diamond light heart grid, to come into your field. It might belong in your third eye or throat chakra. Your heart chakra might belong somewhere else, and it might move about. But allow this magnificent diamond you've created, all these facets of you, to take its place in your being to exactly where it belongs to for now. And looking now or retuning back into your higher self. Thank your higher self, that inner essence of you, for all of the assistance today. and most importantly, hands on heart, thanking this spectacular human being for everything it has done and continues to do and continuing to show up. And it is done.